Hello, fellow homeschoolers. My name is Bhagwan Swaroop. I run a makerspace here in Ajman. I am a homeschooling parent like you. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the issue of making kids curious in science and mathematics beyond school syllabus. Now, I wonder how many parents would subscribe to the idea of learning beyond school syllabus. But as we are homeschooling fraternity, so this idea could take root here. So what I propose is as follows. The kids of today, when we talk about mathematics, for them mathematics is their textbook. But what I propose is giving them more tools so that they can go out in the life and look for questions that they can solve with their newly acquired mathematics knowledge. And what new tools I talk about? Those tools anyway come to them when as they progress through the grades, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, like that. For example, one thing, we go to supermarket, we pay for the goods, we also pay for the taxes. The grade 2 student is doing mathematics sums in the class, but he is not doing any solving any questions in life using the knowledge that he acquires through the grade 2 books. So what I propose is we enable them with new tools, upgraded tools that they are not supposed to have, like percentage, like fractions, like solid geometry, like algebra, like probability, like data handling, like making sense of information, mathematics philosophy, mathematics paradoxes, mental mathematics. All these are tools that we can make available to grade 2 students, but we can't just hand them over the tools. If we simply give the tools to them, it is another burden for them, like the school syllabus, adding 5 more chapters. I don't want to give them tools like this. I want to get them interested in life first. So they get interested in life, they start looking beyond the school syllabus. They start looking beyond the school books for questions. We get them interested somehow. How you get them interested is you can figure out how to do it. I have my ways, you have your ways. So once they start looking at the environment critically, the environment they live in, the roads they walk, the drive they take, they will find questions everywhere. They will find questions on the sidewalk. When they take a walk, they would find interlinking bricks and they would say, wow, this is some symmetrical pattern. So once they start coming up with questions, we give them selective mathematical concepts. They come up with symmetry, we show them symmetry of patterns. They come up with some question about draw happening in grocery shop or shopping center. We talk about probability and give them the thought of probability. We plant the idea of permutation and combination in their head when we are opening the lock. We talk about graphs and how the data is represented. When we look at corona graphs, how many people are got vaccinated in UAE, like that. So we dispense these tools, we give them these tools slowly. As they get the tools, they would start making sense of life around them. The quality of questions will improve. It is often said that the eyes do not see what the mind doesn't know. It can be argued, of course. The eyes will only see what is there in the mind. I don't say that everything should be in the mind. The basic concept is there. There is some news item on the TV talking about corona, and the word exponents come up. The doubling of cases comes up, we take a lesson from there and introduce exponents to them. To what degree depends on their level of interest, how much they are ready to absorb, what is sufficient for answering their query for today. That is enough. Next time the question comes up, we introduce something else. So this way, two things are happening. One, their base of their tools and their capability of handling those tools is increasing. Second, the quality of questions is increasing. So then the third thing comes in. We have given them the tools. We would keep improving the tools. We are not sending them to appear for grade 10 level examination right now. So we make math interesting. We find mathematical stories. We find mathematical concepts that they find amusing. Make the math as beautiful as a fairy tale. Mathematical paradoxes, mathematical stories, fun facts, mathematics in nature, mathematics in your own life. There is a disconnect. What they are learning in school, what tools the syllabus provides, and the tools that the life demands. There is a disconnect here. So they are at a loss. They think whatever I am learning in school is not even enough for tackling questions in life. So what is the use? So they limit themselves to the books and they stop looking for questions. Nowadays, I have met many kids, they don't have any questions at all. Their questions are killed either in school or by the parents. They don't ask any questions at all. They are just interested in getting by. So we have to make them interested in life, make them start asking questions. As they ask questions, we give them tools. Even if that tool is from higher grade, doesn't matter. You are playing musical chair, there is a mathematics involved in it. You are walking by the road, the cars are passing by, there is mathematics in it. You are driving to some destination and your car computer displays average speed, there is mathematics in it. But these mathematics questions spread around the kid. He would not be able to even appreciate it, even build on it, unless he has the very, very basic things in him. Imagine you being at a lawn tennis match and you know nothing beyond cricket. How are you going to appreciate a lawn tennis match? You won't be able to. The same thing is happening with the kids. They don't have tools, they don't have eye, and the brain behind it is not ready to look through those eyes and look for the questions. So we have to put some ideas, some basic concepts, give them some tools so that the eyes start looking for questions. This is the first foremost thing, generating questions. Tools to answer the questions will come later. First is generating questions. Do everything so they start coming up with questions. Because if you give them tools and say, okay, now I will teach you how probability works, it is a fruitless exercise, it is a futile exercise, it is not going to work. So what I propose is finding the questions. Second, work on improving the quality of questions. Third, improving on the way we approach the answer. We have to tell them the power of observation. It is not enough that the eyes do not see what the mind doesn't know. There were many people before Newton. They also saw the apple falling. So I did see the apple falling, but the persons did not analyze it. So next thing is teaching kids how to analyze the questions, how to look for the answer, how to gather information, how to know what you don't know, and how to find what you don't know. So as we can set them on a path of self-learning. So this is the goal. So the journey starts from getting kids curious, giving them tools as per their questions, improving the quality of questions, and finally giving them the power of observation, helping them be patient and persevere and get the answer. So this is the process that I want the kids to start their journey of mathematics on. Now, the when we talk about these tools, we have to make the task easier for the kids. How we can make the task easier for the kids is through, when we explain probability, we can use animated models. There are so many animated models on internet. This is the best time for any learner. It has never happened in the past of humanity, in the history of humanity. This is the best time for learners. Everything is free, available on internet. You only need the, you know, you need to have the need to go for it. Like I have built a small model. This is one probability. I can teach grade 2 student using this, the normal distribution curve. When it comes, people say, how you can teach algebra to a kid? I can teach algebra to a kid, but I don't have to go through binomial theorems for them. I can start with this. It is a y is equal to x. Once they see y is equal to x, so this is an algebraic equation. So this simple is algebra. I say yes. So now the algebra is started. Mental mathematics, a person who can square 36 is in their head, 36 is square, he will feel so powerful. A boy who can do 5% VAT calculation, why he is at the checkout counter of a Carrefour. Imagine his self-esteem. It will get such a boost. So we have to give them tools, and we have to make the use of the tools, like using the user manual of the tools, we have to make it very user friendly. We have to study ourselves the concepts, and then teach them, translate it in kids language. This is how I propose doing it. So once the kids are interested in mathematics, then science will follow. And one more thing I want to tell. If the kids are not curious, we parents are to be blamed. We are not curious. If we are curious, the curiosity is contagious, So we have to encourage curiosity, and we ourselves have to be curious. Apart from being curious in our work, there you may be applying a lot of out of the box thinking, but as you get home, you start with your kid, bring the same thinking home, and let your kid see how to think. We have to, as a homeschoolers, our martyrs, I think my purpose of homeschooling is setting my son on a path of self-learning. So he looks for questions, he has certain tools, but he doesn't know what else he might need. So to know his limitations, he would find his limitations, he would know what he doesn't know, and he knows he has to find out how to get the information he doesn't know. So this is the basic purpose of it. So we as parents, we have to be curious, we have to work hard at learning ourselves and then translating it to kids language. If you cannot do it, if you don't have time, find a mentor who can help your kids. If you have made it this far, I would like to propose something to you. We do many math curiosity classes and science curiosity classes on Zoom. Send me a message with your kid's name and details. We will work out a way for a free Zoom class for you. You can participate, you will have fun, you will understand how to approach mathematics in a fun way. We have done a lot of Zoom classes on a lot of math concepts, starting from, and everything is for grade 2 student, because my son is in grade 2. So next year I would be talking about grade 3 students. For now it is grade 2. But the same grade 2 concepts, grab any grade 5 student and talk to him about exponents. He won't be able to know what it is. They will know table of 2, but they would know what is exponents of 2. But exponents are so easy. They are not difficult. But we have to present them in a way that they can understand. So we have to give them tools. We have to give them user manual of the tools in a very simplified kids language. We have to teach them how to be strong in the face of problems, and then be on a path of self learning. So when we take these classes, we talk about mathematics, we talk about fun aspect of mathematics, we talk about exponents, we talk about Archimedes solids, we talk about Platonic solids, we talk about permutations, combinations, we talk about Hanoi Tower, we talk about chess, we talk about reasoning, mathematical reasoning, mental mathematics. We choose any subject and we discuss one by one. You are welcome. If you are interested, send me a message. I will include you in a free class. And be curious. Curiosity is contagious. You are curious, then it will pass on to your kid as well. Be good, and my all the best. Good luck for your homeschooling journey. Thank you very much. Bye bye.